I will. Thanks, Scott. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. The bar for civic engagement is low these days here. Just showing up is more than most people can do in a working class town. I'm sure you can tell. We have 6,000 people on the census here, but look at the percentage that showed up here. But like 40% are registered Democrats in this county. But you're here, which means that you already care about what happens. Because the truth is, things don't change unless someone notices them and names them and documents them and says, you don't get to do this to my neighbors. And that's why we're here today. So let's be clear about where Raton stands right now. We've had real wins. Just last month, construction started on a 1 gigabyte fiber network that will serve 2,400 homes right here in Colfax. That's thanks to the major state and federal broadband investments, the kind of public infrastructure work that doesn't happen unless someone's paying attention to the big picture. And in 2023, we held our first ever Pride Festival. About 350 people came over 2 days to celebrate LGBT joy right here. Raton Main Street received the 2025 Great American Main Street Award for its exemplary implementation of public improvement projects and historic preservation, something that matters to Ratonians that have lived here for decades and generations, recognizing that this community's thousands of hours of unpaid volunteer work can be seen for its greatness at a national level. Dears, thank you. Those are signs of progress. That's high-speed internet. That's inclusive events. Those are neighbors showing up. But every time something good starts here, a roadblock seems to appear. Take Ramel Family Farms, for example. 4 years ago, the city built an over $700,000 capital investment greenhouse with your taxpayer money and signed a LIDA agreement to support this locally owned farm and market. And the idea was simple. You create jobs, minimal amount of jobs, but you provide fresh produce. Tens of thousands of pounds of fresh produce. Not to Whole Food shoppers, because we have $3 stores in a 2-mile radius here, but to seniors and low-income families and school programs and anyone who needs healthy food and uses SNAP, which is the majority of us on SNAP, on Medicaid, on Medicare that live in Raton. Fast forward to mid-2025. Instead of celebrating the effort, the City Commission introduces a repeal of Ordinance 1013, which accepted Ramel Farms as an economic partner of the city. They claimed job targets weren't met, provided no clear data or staff report for the metrics that they were supposed to use on a state procedurally generated level. And even after dozens of Ratonians packed the chambers and the lobby on July 10th to speak out in support, the commission still moved to terminate the lease a month later when presented the proposal. No questions asked. The farm has to vacate by the end of 2025, meaning our schools and seniors lose access to that fresh food supplier. This isn't just bureaucratic tedium, it's neighbors losing services because of a paperwork fight. Look at our historic downtown. In May 2023, the 143-year-old Golden Rule Marchiando's building suffered a partial collapse. The city declared it dangerous in July of 2024, giving the new owners 60 days to submit a plan. But demolition didn't begin until July 23rd, 2025, 2 years after the collapse. A huge hole in the back of this building on our main street. Environmental reviews and delays left a gaping hazard sitting in our downtown for 2 summers. On demolition day, residents stood across the street and watched as a building heavy with nearly 150 years of decay collapsed in a red cloud of dust and forgotten history. That's how slow and fragile and dangerous to the public our government process can be. Let me give you some perspective from the other side of the state line. I've lived in Boulder, Fort Collins, Longmont, Denver, and Colorado. Those cities are overwhelmingly white. Median household incomes range from $83,000 to over $130,000. Median home prices stretch into the high 800,000s. Even in Pueblo, a more blue-collar city, 2 hours away from us or so, it's still wealthier on average than Raton. Here in Raton, we're about 55% Hispanic, many Latino families. 1 in 5 residents live below the poverty line. Median household income is around $52,000. We're a town of 6,000 in a county of about 12,400, half white, half Latino. We don't have a deep tax base. We're not first in line for state money. So when someone like a greenhouse project does come through, it matters. It fucking matters a lot to our neighborhoods that live in a food desert and a food swamp. So in Raton, we're a 5-member city commission, the mayor plus 4 commissioners, and an appointed city manager, where they lead the town. How much control do you think you have? It's probably more than you think. The commission acts as our city legislator. It passes ordinances, it sets the budget, roughly $10 to $12 million a year, and makes land use and zoning decisions. Mayor Neil Sagata currently represents District 5, and the 4 commissioners are Lori Chatterley, Donald Giacomo, Mark Honeyfield, and Lindy Schuster. Know their names. Know your representatives to the state. Here's what matters. Giacomo, Schuster, and Mayor Sagata's terms all expire this year, which means this November, we vote for a new mayor and 2 city commissioners, which means this August 26th, you can register to run to be a city commissioner. These are the people who decide whether a farm gets shut down, whether new housing gets approved, whether we move forward or stay stuck. At the county level, Colfax County has 3 commissioners, Tad Tatum, Cy Trujillo, and Mary Lou Kern. They oversee roads, jails, regional planning. Sometimes they make deals we don't hear about until it's almost too late. Did you know our county was audited recently for over $1 million? Is there a way you can think of where you normally would have access to that news? Is it Facebook? Is it the Ratonian? How do you get news in Raton? Here's the case in point, for our neighbors too. Remember when news broke that ICE was looking to lease the old Huerfano County Jail for detainees in Walsenburg? Yeah. Neighboring counties don't quietly move forward. Colfax County community members got wind of that, and Las Animas people too. They showed up to Huerfano County Commission meetings. Some of them are protesting there today. The detention center will happen, but its opening is not the stop of their battle. It's the same playbook every time. You promise jobs, and you lean on fear, and you ignore the human cost. So what can you do? You can stay informed. You can go to the city website. You can read the agendas in minutes. Local reporters try to do the work. You can follow them. We also need more local reporters. We have a new site, the Ratonian, desperately in need of volunteers, administrative volunteers, web development, people that will write about what is happening around them. Every neighborhood counts. You show up and speak. That's the second thing you can do. Commission meetings are at City Hall on the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays of each month at 6 p.m. There's time for public comment, even on things not on the agenda. You can bring facts. You can speak clearly. When residents question vague claims like health concerns or preserving rural character, officials have to either justify themselves or back the fuck off. Can't there be more people in person or virtually that attend these? You can call in. You can submit written comments. It all goes on the record. Marty Mayfield of KRTN and World Journal helps stream the city commission meetings, helps report on them almost solely for this county. That's one person. The third thing you can do is vote, and you get your neighbors to vote. Municipal elections are decided by a few dozen ballots. The difference between 2 of our city commissioners switching seats last election year was a matter of less than 10 votes. It's not a metaphor, it's math. You ask candidates real questions. Do they have plans for housing, water, food systems? Are they honest about their values? If someone asks and someone says that business will ruin this town because of the people leading it, running it, you ask them to explain how, and you ask them to provide evidence. Low turnout equals high control.
Yep.
By people that don't always have your best interests in heart. And we can't afford that. Fourth, you can hold your officials accountable every day. You can email, you can call, you can ask what numbers support this project, who benefits, who pays. If they dodge the answer, ask again. If you suspect something's off, file a public records request. If they don't respond to your request, you file an appeal. There are people in this town that will help you with the legal logistics of this. If you suspect something's off, say something. When even 5 people push back, bad plans slow down. Fifth and most important is that you organize with others like you see today. You don't have to do any of it alone. You start a group, you join one, you post on Facebook, you build an email list, you talk at church, you talk at school, at the bar. One person with a sign can spark a conversation. A dozen sparks a movement. We've seen it here. A lone protester on the square became a local teach-in on Palestine. A slurred phrase, Jinga la Migra, became a rallying cry against ICE raids nationally. Because we do still give a damn about our neighbors, even the ones we don't always agree with, especially the ones that we don't see every day. And look, change won't come overnight, but it will come if enough of us keep showing up, keep asking hard questions, and refuse to shut up just because the room gets quiet. So imagine this, every Tuesday and Thursday night, 500 people in Colfax County skip Netflix and show up at City Hall in person, virtually. It would be unignorable what the majority wants, and how to represent our minorities, to actually be that ally, that voice, that representative for people that don't feel safe showing up in person, virtually, ever, in the visible community. 50 people is a blip, 100 is pressure, but 1,000 out of 6,000 in Raton, that's power. So here's what I'm asking. I ask that with me you stay alert and you stay loud and you stay kind, and ask why at the zoning meetings. Offer solutions, not just complaints. Talk to people across the state, because we are the neighbor of Trinidad and we share a lot of the same problems. Talk to people who have been shut out from the public eye. Talk to your grocer about how they stock local produce. Tell your pastor to bless more than just the status quo. Be relentlessly imperfect in your civic engagement, because you'll mess up. We all do. But if you keep showing up more days than feel comfortable, you'll be part of something bigger than any one win or loss. Because here's the truth, our community only improves when we improve it for everyone.
That's right.
Yeah.
If we lift up seniors, students, immigrants, workers, we all benefit. Safer streets, stronger schools, healthier families, a stable economy. It is inconvenient, it is taxing, but it's also the soul of this town. It's the only way we become what Raton was always supposed to be, not just what it was. So let them call you disruptive. Let them squirm a little, because our discomfort means we care.
Yep.
And we're not going anywhere if we don't choose to, any of us. Thank you.
Whoa!